Hi dear friends, dear UPSC aspirants, welcome to Gallant IAS. Let me tell you one thing, stay positive. Always absorb the positivity and ignore the negativity. Don't worry what others think about you, talk about you. You always remain confident, stay positive, and definitely you can achieve your dream goal, that is clearing this examination. Okay, you stick on to your effective strategy of preparing, do your work smartly, and have faith in yourself, faith in your smart hard work. Okay, today I'm in front of you with our program on Mission 300 plus. In our history optional, on Mission 300 plus is our program that is to score 300 plus in our optional in 2020 mains. So this is our answer improvement program. Let us start with one topic, which is guild system in ancient India. This guild system, their functions can be asked in the prelims also. Their composition, their functions can be asked in prelims also. Already these questions are asked in mains examination history optional. They asked questions like guild system. What is guild system? Or how they were instrumental in this economic development. How they were instrumental in the economic development of ancient India, or what were the socio economic and cultural functions, how socio-economic cultural functions exercised by a guild. Or they asked like this, how this guild system were instrumental for fighting inflation or poverty or unemployment, or how they acted as court of justice. So different functions of the guild that has to be very clear to you. Guild was, obviously, when you write this answer in the intro always has to be very precise. Let you have, you should give a small intro and a direct intro. It has to be a direct intro. Then obviously, if it is guild means you can define it. You can define what exactly guild, or what were the different phases of guild, or basic object of this guild. Okay, this you can write in the intro itself in 2 or 3 lines. You can give some examples also if you require, if the question demand. Now here, guild or Shreni, it was a trade union of the merchants or manufacturers. Take care, trade union of merchants, manufacturers or traders, that is known as guild or Shreni. It acted as a court of justice. It very effectively settled the disputes among these consumers and the sellers, or the manufacturers, traders, or different trading organizations, etc. Acted as a court of justice. It was a democratic government. It was an institution of democratic government. It facilitated minimum support price for these farmers or these artisans, craft workers, and also it checked the inflation, unemployment, and this what is called a black market or whatever the exploitations, whatever this monopoly, all these things were regulated or checked by this guild system, Shreni system. Acted as IIT, or I shall say that it was also a technological institution of ancient India. Then they fixed this standard quality. Okay, standard quality of these products, or they acted as the supplier of the raw materials to manufacturers. Then they regulated this, they controlled this money supply, or they regulated this inflation. Okay, they protected these investors and their capitals, and also they checked this fraud like investors, everything. So let me tell you, it was a trade union, it was a court of justice, it was a democratic government, it was a technological institution, it was a supplier of raw material, it acted as an RBI, or it also had the functions of a SEBI. Okay, so now the definition, this much is not required, this is only for your understanding. And these points can be asked in the prelims also. Which one of the following is not among the functions of ancient guild system? Okay, either of these points can be used in your intro. And ancient Indian guild system, it was totally different from this European guild system. European guild system means they acted as merchant guild or craft guild, you know. But Indian guild, they were much beyond this, or they had much more functions or duties. Okay, they had a social function, they had an economic function, they had a cultural function. So different political functions or different functions Indian guild system had or exercised. According to Romila Thapar, so when you present the body part, take care that always try to bring in multiple dimensions. Try to bring in multiple dimensions of the point you are arguing or you are analyzing, okay? Give sufficient examples. Give sufficient examples. And in the history optional answers, you take care that definitely you have to mention the historians. Okay, the historians or the archaeologists, whatever, their observations, opinions you have to bring into. That is to substantiate your arguments, definitely. You have to mention these historians and their observations or opinions. Okay, then there should be, you can use the diagrams. You can use diagrams or these maps wherever required. That will make your answer much more easily understandable, okay? Then again, I would say that you can use bullet points. Bullet points or short paras, that is your choice, whichever is easy for you. Yes, you can use bullet points or paras, okay? Use subtitles. Okay, that will make your answer much more unique. So here, according to Romila Thapar, yes, this guild system, it has different phases in ancient India. Guild system began in this early Buddhist era. It continued through this Mauryan era and it lasted till this post-Mauryan era. Again, according to Romila Thapar, there are three chief requisites for this rise of a guild system. One is localization of occupation. Localization of occupation. Hereditary character of the professions. The idea of a guild leader or Jetaka was a widely accepted one. Okay, that guild leader has to be widely accepted one. So according to Romila Thapar, these are the three preconditions or these are the three requisites for rise of a guild system. That is localization of occupation or hereditary character of the professions and this idea of a guild leader or this Jetaka, that has to be an accepted one. Okay, so have an idea how the same thing is observed by Basham or how it is observed by Majumdar. Okay, so different historians and their viewpoints are very, very important here. Even you can go for Panikkar Kumaraswamy, their observations on this ancient trade union system. Then each Shreni had its own professional code, working arrangements, duties and obligations and even religious observances. Cobbler's guild is there, oil miller's guild was there, potter's guild was there, weaver's guild was there, hydraulic engineer's guild was there. So guild, obviously you should understand that this is a trade union or this is an association of these different merchants, manufacturers or traders, okay, which you have to, or craft workers or artists, which you have to take care. They had their own protocol, they set their own rules and regulations for their functioning. Yes, they had this general assembly, they had this guild chairman or the head, they have executive officers. So obviously, when it comes to this function of guild system, you should notice that the general assembly, guild chairman, executive officers, three main organs of this guild, which you have to take care. Detailed analysis we have done in our session, full session. So this basic idea you must have. Sethis is an example for merchant cum bankers guild, and this Manigramam, that is another ancient guild system existed here. Give examples. Functions of the guild, take care. Administrative functions they had, economic functions they had, charitable banking functions they had. Guild, they loaned money to artisans and merchants. Okay, so this is something we have seen with this mercantilism. Okay, where we have seen obviously the state was regulating the trade system or it was funding these manufacturers or traders or different companies, that is, you know, to buy the raw materials or to do this industrialization, etc. We have seen the mercantile phase. Same way, guild provided or they lended money for the artisans and merchants. Then they also focused on elevation of the distress and poverty, undertook a work of piety and charity as matter of duty. Part of the profit were for preservation and maintenance of assembly hall, watersheds, shrines, tanks and gardens, and for widows' empowerment and for the poor and destitute and their empowerment. So just to see that the ancient guild system existed in India, obviously there were not just merchants association or these craft workers association, they had a multifaceted or they had multiple functions which you have to take care. Taplial and his observation is like this: guild safeguarded the interest of traders, craftsmen against this oppression by the king. So when it comes to the relationship between guild and the state, guild, just because of the reason that they enjoyed the hereditary rights, obviously guild was so strong that it enjoyed a considerable autonomy also. Sometimes it questioned the state whenever the state or the monarchical decisions went against the interest of the people and interest of these merchants, traders or craft workers or artisans. Guild as an organization, yes, it addressed the concerns or issues of these people, yes, in front of the state. So they enjoyed a considerable autonomy. They were powerful institutions against oppression and against this favoritism, nepotism, etc. Then you can go for like Majumdar and his corporate life in ancient India, Taplial and his guild in ancient India. These are some references which will give you an insight into the functions, objectives, and these achievements, limitations of the guild system in India, in fact, which we discussed in our full session. Okay, some questions: assess the role of guild and trade organizations in the development of early Indian economy. Okay, rural economy and urban economy, how they contributed, how the different social classes or economic groups benefited from this guild system, what all were the limitations also. This you have to analyze. Trace the role of guild and trade organizations in the development of early Indian economy. The same question, 2010, 2015 repeated. So that is what I am saying. That is an advantage of history optional. It is always, this is a static area and the questions are being repeated. Okay. So this is our mission. This is our target, which is 300 plus, scoring 300 plus in our history optional, that is in 2020 mains, for which we will be having regular answer writing practices and obviously these previous years, solving previous years questions, and obviously we will have these class day programs of these solving questions and feedback. So what I am saying is, whatever your optionals, I always suggest to my students, all UPSC aspirants across India, yes, if you really wish to clear this examination and score well in your optional, I would strongly suggest you, recommend to you, yes, revise every day, minimum one chapter, one page of your optional. Okay, at least one topic of your optional you revise on every day or regular basis and practice minimum one question. Okay, initially you can practice the previous year's questions, then the UPSC standard model questions you can practice, and make sure that you get mentorship or feedback for your daily answers. Okay, so regular answer practice is one of the solution for scoring well in your optional. So make yourself strong in your optional, practice answer writing on regular basis, get the regular feedback, and be strong for 2020 or score, that is to score 300 plus in your optional. Thank you, all the very best.